like, comment, and subscribe for more content. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And in today's edition, what an edition we got for you guys. Today as this gets released, it is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Hope you're having a great day. But today's edition, we've got some announcements that are non-Emerald City Comic Con, but then we do have day 1 and day 2 of Emerald City Comic Con reveals. When this gets released, all of the Emerald City Comic Con announcements will probably be announced. However, when we record this, it is Tuesday, February the 11th. So the announcements for day 3 and day 4 won't be on this podcast until next week when we do a part 2 of Emerald City Comic Con reveals. Which, by the way, thank you to everyone who watched the podcast last week, because it is our most viewed podcast of 2020 so far. So thank you everyone who listened to the podcast. Anyways, going to the first announcement. These announcements go from February 5th to February the 10th. So we got ourselves the Frozen 2 lineup of Pops, which we have Bruni, Elsa riding Knock Pop Rides, and Olaf with Bruni. A little 2-for-1 deal right there, which that is expected to be released at some point this month in February. Then we got ourselves the highly anticipated next wave of Pokemon Pops, in which we have ourselves Vulpix, Mewtwo, Mr. Mime, and Pichu, which those are expected to be released as early as April 2020. Then for the video game Shantae, we have ourselves the self-titled character of Shantae, which that's expected to be released also as early as April 2020. Then we got some more MLB Pops. A lot more MLB Pops, which hopefully I don't butcher any of the names I'm about to say right now, but the list we have here, we have Bryce Harper from the Philadelphia Phillies, Paul Goldschmidt from the St. Louis Cardinals, Jacob deGrom and Pete Alonso from the New York Mets, Cody Bellinger from the Los Angeles Dodgers, Nolan Arenado from the Colorado Rockies, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from the Toronto Blue Jays, Christian Yelich from the Milwaukee Brewers, Austin Meadows from the Tampa Bay Rays, Corey Kluber from the Texas Rangers, Freddie Freeman from the Atlanta Braves, Josh Bell from the Pittsburgh Pirates, Xander Bogaerts from the Boston Red Sox, Charlie Blackmon from the Colorado Rockies, Gleyber Torres and Gary Sanchez from the New York Yankees, and last but not least, we have Alex Bregman from the Houston Astros, in which those are expected to be released as early as April 2020. Then we have announced gold variants of HR Puffin Stuff and Sleazdak, which those are going to be Funko Hollywood exclusives as on February 13th when they're going to be released. They are adding Sid and Marty Krofft's name to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I think it's happening exactly in front of Funko Hollywood, if I'm not mistaken. Plus, there's going to be an autograph signing going on with Sid and Marty Krofft, so if you are the first 50 people that go to Funko Hollywood and get these Pops, you automatically are, I think, first in line for the autograph session with Sid and Marty Krofft, which, like I said, February 13th this happens, which when this video gets released, the whole thing already happened. Then we got ourselves a Target exclusive glow-in-the-dark Venoid that is a part of a Pop and Tea combo, which that is available now. Then last but not least, according to the Funko app, we have an FYE exclusive Cara Dune from The Mandalorian with a gun, in which, according to the Funko app, that is available now, although I'd heard nothing yet from FYE's side of things. So the Frozen 2 Pops, they're okay. I mean, obviously I won't be getting these because I'm not the biggest fan of Frozen, but this Bruni Salamander character looks pretty cool. The Pop Rides is okay. And obviously, like I've said in the past, big fan of 2-for-1 deals. So if you have Bruni with Olaf, I guess I'm going to assume these were two popular characters in the movie because obviously Olaf was already a popular character in Frozen 1. Then the Pokemon pops. So actually, recently on Netflix, I started watching the animated series of Pokemon and I've just been super hooked. Like, even right from the start with the Pokemon theme song, right till the ending when you have the Pokemon rap. It's just been so awesome. I actually, during this series, have not seen Mewtwo yet or Pichu. Actually, I haven't even seen Mr. Mime either now as I think about it, but I did see Vulpix. But onto the pops. Vulpix looks pretty cool. My favorite definitely is Mewtwo, just because it's Mewtwo and a lot of people have wanted a Mewtwo. I think my only little gripe about this is that it's not a 6-inch, but it's going to be more affordable because it's a normal 3.75-inch pop. A lot of people weren't really hyped about Mr. Mime, which I don't really know why, but I think out of all four of these Pokemon pops, that Mr. Mime is the most detailed in my opinion. I think Mr. Mime was well done, and I think it's absolutely awesome. And then Pichu, I think Pichu is a little random in my opinion, just because I think they were going with like Gen 1 pops at first, and then all of a sudden you have Pichu, which if I'm not mistaken, that's a Gen 2 pop, correct?
Yeah.
But Pichu looks pretty cool. I'm sure Pichu's going to sell because Pikachu, and that's the evolution before Pikachu, so. But yeah, all of these, they're pretty great. Then the Shantae. I'd never heard of Shantae, so I can't really say like if I'm a big fan of it or not, but the pose looks pretty cool. It looks like it's flying. I like the way the hair is. It's not a bad pop. Then the baseball pops. It's like most of the sports pops. Each specific sport has their kind of like same pose they do with all the characters. You can see with the players with the bats, you got the bat to the one side, and then the one arm is to the side, and the pitcher has their own base, which I guess that's cool. And then anyone who is on the field has a glove in their hand, and both their hands are to the sides. Obviously, I'm sure our local people would really like that Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and if I'm not mistaken, that's the first Toronto Blue Jays Funko Pop that Funko has made. Because I don't think Funko has ever made a Toronto Blue Jays pop. They could have if they ever had done Jose Bautista a few years ago, but that's kind of a mystery of why they never got a Jose Bautista pop made. I feel like that would have been one of the first ones made.
Yeah.
But these look all right. I mean, I'm sure if you're a baseball fan, you're going to cop out for a lot of these. So then the gold Sid and Marty Krofft pops. HR Puff and stuff looks pretty cool. And then I like the Sleestack better just because it's not all gold. You got like the red eyes, which I think is pretty cool. And I'm curious on what this is going to go for on like eBay and that. I don't plan on getting these, but I'm just curious on what they're going to sell for.
Yeah, and I'm assuming all 50 of them or whatever will be signed, right? So.
Yeah, well, there's going to be more than 50.
Oh, there's more than 50?
Yeah, it's just the first
okay.
50 people were able to get to the autographs is what I meant. But I don't know what the limit is on there. It's definitely more than 50. And I know that it's a limit of one pop, like, of each character per customer.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the rules on that. Then the Noid glow-in-the-dark pop. This looks pretty cool. I love the idea of the box being a Domino's pizza box. I think that looks pretty cool. And even the shirt is pretty cool. It's like keep the Noid out and it's like keep the flavor in. There's just so much detail going on. It would be a pretty cool shirt to have, and even the box is cool. Then the Cara Dune pop. That's pretty cool. I remember, I think this is actually one of the last episodes where this Cara Dune is featured in with that big gun.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of in like that one building and they're hiding behind all the I guess at this point they're still stormtroopers because Mandalorian takes place just after Return of the Jedi, so assuming there's still stormtroopers that exist in the Star Wars franchise at this point. But yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, Cara Dune's alright. I mean, it's an alright pop to have. I feel like it probably won't sell amazingly considering there's already another Cara Dune pop that's out, right?
Yeah.
But it's cool to see a different variation of her. Then the Noid Pop and T combo. This is great. It's cool to see a glow-in-the-dark Noid. Usually when they do glow-in-the-dark pops, it's like, did it really need to be glow-in-the-dark? I guess this doesn't need to be glow-in-the-dark, but I kind of like this one. The t-shirt's great. Looks really cool. You got all the good sayings of the Noid on there, which is sweet. And then, yeah, the box, of course, is always the best thing with these Pop and T combos. It's actually like 2 pizza boxes, like stacked on top of each other, right? Which is super neat. And then these gold Sid and Marty Krofft pops. These are cool. I wish I was able to get my hands on these, and I wish I could meet them and get them signed. That'd be really cool, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. But maybe one day I can get my hands on these in the secondary market if they're not too expensive. Then yeah, there's not much you could say about the baseball pops besides I'll probably buy 3 of the Guerrero Jr. pops, one for me and one for 2 of my different coworkers. I think that's actually a pretty sweet pop. Definitely one of the most detailed ones here too, with like the hair being the way that it is. And then the Shantae, I'm pretty sure this is a game on the Wii. It could be on different platforms, but I remember seeing it on the Wii.
Definitely another unanswered question for a future episode whenever I bring that back. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that's an alright looking pop. I think that looks really cool. I might even pick this up. Then the Pokemon pops. Ugh, is all I have to say about these. I don't know if I really like this wave a lot. I feel like they could have done so much better with a wave that would have just. Like, these are going to sell incredibly well.
It's Pokemon. I think you slap on Pokemon, it's going to sell.
Yeah, but I think as a fan service, they could have just done, like, so much more. Keep Mewtwo in there, and I would say maybe keep Vulpix in there. But Mr. Mime and Pichu, like, what are they doing Gen 2 pops for? Like, the only reason is because it's Pichu, and it'll probably sell. But why are they jumping ahead of the game here and going to Gen 2 and we only have, like, 5 now, including Eevee, Gen 1 pops, right?
Yeah.
And then Mr. Mime, I could see why people would be mad with that, just because we don't need Mr. Mime yet. Let's see more of these iconic characters before we see Mr. Mime. It looks good, though. I'm really upset about the Pichu being in there. I think it's just a huge mistake.
I think I was excited about Mr. Mime because I liked Mr. Mime in the Detective Pikachu movie.
Yeah, that might be one of the reasons why he's in here, because all 4 of these, or not all 4, because Pichu's not in it, but 3 of these characters are in Detective Pikachu, so it makes sense. There's a lot of hype around Mr. Mime more recently. And then the Frozen 2 pops, yeah, they're alright. They'll sell a little bit, and then they'll sit on the shelves at EB Games for a while.
Now we are moving on to day 1 of Emerald City Comic Con Pops. I'm super pumped that we even get to talk about Emerald City Comic Con Pops this week. We don't get to talk about all of the Emerald City Comic Con Pops, like I said, because I know, knowing Emerald City Comic Con Pops, they usually announce them within a 4-day span, so it'll be like Monday to Thursday, probably, and we're filming this on the Tuesday, so we're only able to talk about the Emerald City Comic Con announcements for the first 2 days. So, starting off with the Dragon Ball Z lineup, which we have ourselves Vegeta eating noodles, a glow-in-the-dark Perfect Cell, and a green chrome Piccolo, which I should say before I keep saying it after every single pop announcement, that all of the Emerald City Comic Con pops, if they're shared to a retailer, will either be at the specific retailer that is assigned to either day 1, which I'm pretty sure is March 12th, or day 2, which I think is March 13th of Emerald City Comic Con. So look at your social media of even your local, like, Hot Topics or whatever, because I know our local Hot Topics like to announce, like, when the convention exclusive pops will show up within, like, days before. Then moving on, we got ourselves Gelatinous Cube from Dungeons and Dragons, followed by 2 pops from Masters of the Universe, which we have Triclops and a Slime Pit variant of He-Man. Then we have ourselves Zatanna from the DC Comics lineup, followed by a 6-inch variant of Tankerbug from the movie Starship Troopers. And last but not least, for day 1, we have ourselves a 2-pack of Zero and Gustav from the movie The Grand Budapest Hotel, which this will be limited to 1,500 pieces, which means this will be convention only. Starting off with Dragon Ball Z, I think, in my opinion, this was definitely the best announcement for day 1, in my opinion. I think that Vegeta eating noodles looks pretty cool. I don't think it looks as cool as the Goku eating noodles that got announced last week. I think the other one was just more funnier and cool. This one's just, like, cool and, like, not as funny, though. But it's still going to be a big seller, and I know that. I think definitely the best pop out of these 3 is definitely the glow-in-the-dark Perfect Cell. I think the colors, hopefully the colors will look as good as they show in this pop. And it's just more than one part that glows in the dark. You got, like, the green parts, even like the lightning around that glows in the dark, and even the yellow and purple parts, which I can't wait to actually see
Yeah, it's
in
basically
person.
every color on here besides black glows in the dark.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see exactly what it looks like in person. And usually MD and I don't like chrome pops when it's just one straight color, but I like the green on this just because it's a better green than we got during San Diego Comic-Con with the Yoda and Boba Fett pops. I think the green looked terrible on it. I think the green will look nice here. However, that doesn't mean I'm going to buy it, but this still looks nice and it's one of the better chrome pops. Then the gelatinous cube. When I first looked at this, I thought, did Jim Halpert just prank Edgar Allan Poe, He-Man, and Captain America? just because the fact it looks like Jim Halpert just stole the skull, the shield, and the sword and put them in Jello. That's what it looks like to me. That's where I'm getting the reference from. There's even people in the comments I read, they were saying, does Jim Halpert come with this? Thinking like Jim with the Jello. But this looks cool. I know a lot of people were super hyping because not a lot of people were expecting a exclusive Dungeons and Dragons pop. This is the first exclusive, not only to a con, but exclusive overall Dungeons and Dragons pop because we've only gotten the 3 common pops that recently got released. But I know this is going to be a pretty decent seller. Then the He-Man, or not the He-Man pops, but I mean, there's one He-Man pop, but the Masters of the Universe pop, I really like the way that this He-Man looks. I think the green looks very well, especially with the red in this attire, and I like how the green kind of looks translucent within the sword and like even the arms. That looks really cool in my opinion. And the Triclops, I guess that's all right. I don't know, head looks a little weird to me, but overall, I'm sure that these are going to sell pretty good. Zatanna, I've never heard of Zatanna, but I know that there is a big following behind Zatanna. Like, I guess a lot of people have been really wanting a Zatanna pop for years now. Then we got the 6-inch tanker bug from Starship Troopers, which, I mean, it's basically one color, but I know that there's a bit of detail within this pop, and you can see the little, I don't know what it's called, some slime that's coming out of the head of the tanker bug, which, if you remember the Johnny Rico that came out for San Diego Comic-Con last year, and you notice on the box, like, it's kind of orange, it's because of this, like, kind of slime from the tanker bug. So it's kind of cool that they're kind of doing this. I kind of hope, I haven't really looked at the box yet, which I know I can on the Funko app. I'm kind of hoping like the box also has this kind of like slime effect to it, like the Johnny Rico did on the window. I know some people are hyping, but some people aren't. Like, some people are hoping that this pop doesn't really sell all that well so that they can buy it at like clearance price. Because even the Johnny Rico, I think GameStop was selling for like $5 because it was like a shelf sitter. Yeah, and then the Grand Budapest Hotel pops. These look all right. I mean, to me, they kind of look like some Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory pops. Like, you got Gustav, who kind of looks like Willy Wonka himself, and then you got, like, Zero, who, I don't know who he would exactly look like. Maybe, like, Esteban with a mustache from good old Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Which I'm kind of glad with a pop that I, for sure, am not planning on getting. Even though there's definitely hype behind this movie, that this is only limited, so I don't have to worry about, oh no, it's 1,500 pieces, I'm never going to get it, and then pay $400 on eBay. So I'm not so worried about this pop.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way about the Grand Budapest Hotel pops. That, like, you summed it up perfectly. The Starship Troopers pop, it's alright. I mean, it does look like it's got some detail on it, but it being mostly one color, just eh. Zatanna, I've definitely heard of this character before, and this pop looks pretty good too. One thing that's cool to point out is the fishnet leggings, I think, is a nice added detail on this pop. The Masters of the Universe pops, these are really cool. Obviously, the He-Man is the main point of the coolness because of the translucent. And yeah, this looks really cool. What did you say? It's like Slime Dungeon or something?
Slime Pit. That's
Slime
what
Pit.
it's.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. I like the look of that pop. And the gelatinous cube from Dungeons and Dragons, this is sweet. I'm really excited to see what it looks like because this could be a huge flop. This might not look that good. But if it turns out nicely, like, wow, that'd be so cool. Just it's such a weird looking pop and it's like clearly popified with that skull. You can totally tell that it's a pop vinyl, so I think it's really nice. Then we have the Dragon Ball Z Pops now. I'm kind of debating on getting all three of these, but if I had to leave out one, it would be the Chrome Piccolo. But I will definitely be getting Vegeta eating the noodles and the Perfect Cell. I'm thinking I'll probably get this. I have a Cell, the original Cell, out of the box, so I'd like to get a boxed version, and I think this would be the one to get because this looks sweet.
All right, so before we move on to day 2 of Emerald City Comic-Con Pops, we are going to look at a pop that got announced today as we film this, February 11th. And it's not an Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive. This is a Michael Jordan All-Star Funko Pop, which this is exclusive to Upper Deck Sports, and this is available now. This looks pretty cool, actually. The way the attire looks, it's like this very vibrant, like, teal color. At first, when I looked at this, I thought it was Space Jam's Michael Jordan, which I thought, yo, that'd be nuts. But it's not. But it still looks pretty cool. It's very refreshing for the jersey sake, because usually when you see the Michael Jordan the jersey, all you really see is the number 23 on the jersey. I don't even think you see. I think maybe one pop you might have seen like Chicago on it or Bulls or something. But I guess like the main attraction of the jersey is the whole NBA All-Stars look on the jersey. And then it's even doing the pose from the like original common Michael Jordan pop, which is cool. And yeah, I guess this is an alright pop. This is like one of the better Michael Jordan pops out of like all the ones they've done.
Yeah, I would agree with that. This is a really cool pop, and it hasn't sold out yet, or did it?
I don't know if it's sold out yet. I haven't checked.
Okay, yeah. One thing I like about this pop is that, of course, you got a new sticker on there. We got an Upper Deck sticker, which I think is sweet. And I think this attire looks great. I love the retro looking NBA All Stars jersey. I'm definitely thinking about getting this pop.
All right, so moving on to day 2 of Emerald City Comic Con Funko Pops. We're going to show you first 6 pops on your screen or 6 photos on your screen, and then we'll do another 6 just because I didn't expect so many exclusive pops to be announced today. Like, I felt like what they announced today, they could have done within 2 days. But we're going to kick off. We have ourselves some Harry Potter exclusive Funko Pops, which first we have ourselves Nymphadora Tonks and Fleur Delacour, followed by Marvel Pops, which we have ourselves Gambit, Toad, a white Doctor Doom, and Thanos with a detachable hand. Then from the Star Wars lineup, we have ourselves a 4-inch variant of the black and red Futura Boba Fett. Harry the Husky, this will be flocked. This is the college mascot for the University of Washington. And last but not least, for this section at least, we have ourselves from the former team known as the Seattle Supersonics, which I think now they've changed into the Oklahoma City Thunder after the team retired, but they have a Seattle Supersonics Shawn Kemp Funko Pop. Starting off with the Harry Potter Pops, so these Harry Potter Pops, these look alright. I mean, I don't really know any of these characters all that much. I know actually there was a huge following behind Tonks. Like a lot of people were like, oh man, we want a Tonks pop. And so now we got the Tonks pop, and I like the purple hair, and then I guess that's about it. Like, I mean, the jacket's pretty cool, but that's all I really see that stands out. And then Fleur Delacour outfit is pretty cool, like the whole blue outfit and the way the hair is, and then the hat's all right. Then we got the Marvel Pop, so starting with Gambit. Gambit looks pretty cool. I mean, I feel like even the Entertainment Earth exclusive Gambit that just got announced, like, what was it, a few weeks ago, London Toy Fair? I think that's better than this one in my opinion, but I'm sure other people might disagree with me. Then Toad. I don't know what Toad is, but at first I thought that Toad, when this got rumored, was mentioning like Toad from like Super Mario, which I was like, what? Is it that? Maybe not, because it's hard for Funko right now to get that Nintendo license. But looking at Toad, it kind of looks like a cross between Green Goblin, because the outfit, and like Venom, because the tongue. It's almost like it's Venomized Green Goblin without a mask on. I don't know, like, this looks cool with detail, at least in my opinion. Then the white Doctor Doom looks awesome. Like, I've been debating all day about possibly getting this, probably depending on where it gets shared to, because Funko, unfortunately, for some reason, is keeping it kayfabe at the moment on where each of the pops are going. I mean, I'm sure there's some resources that are leaking some of the retailers of where they're getting shared to right now, but for the most part, they're being kept kayfabe at the moment. But yeah, that white Doctor Doom looks awesome. Very great in detail. Then the Thanos with the detachable hand, that's awesome. I mean, this is basically the same pop as I think they call it Thanos in the Garden from the last wave of Avengers Endgame. But this has a detachable hand in which it even shows on the photo listed in the Funko app that if you want, when it's in the box, it's already like detached off of the arm. But if you want, there is the little point where you can put it back into the arm if you want it like that. Or you can take it off so that it's detached, which I think that's a pretty cool thing that Funko is doing with this pop. Then with the Futura Boba Fett, I mean, everybody already knows that there was the 10-inch variant that came out to Target, which actually, now as I think about it, I won't be surprised if this pop ends up getting shared to Target, just because
Yeah.
why not? Like, the 10-inch was already shared to Target, might as well give the 4-inch to Target also. But yeah, overall, I like the design on the helmet. That looks pretty cool, but overall, it's just a whole black Boba Fett, which, eh. Then we got the University of Washington mascot, Harry the Husky, flocked variant. Makes sense. I mean, the outfit is already flocked as it is when you wear like a mascot outfit. So it makes sense. And that, of course, they do this specific one because Washington, and that's where Emerald City Comic Con is happening in Seattle, Washington. And that's the same case with this Seattle Supersonic basketball pop where you bring on a former team from Seattle just to fit the theme. Yeah, both these sports pops, they look pretty cool. I probably won't be getting them, but it's cool to see that they're making a pop of a former team because that's like pretty rare. That's like if somehow NHL for Funko Pops in the future they could have like, let's say, like a Matt Sundin with like a Quebec Nordiques jersey maybe in the future. I
Yeah,
don't know.
or like an Ilya Kovalchuk with the Atlanta Thrashers, or like the Hartford Whalers. Like
Yeah, that's what I
there's
mean.
so much that they could do. Yeah, I like this basketball pop. It's cool because it's green for Emerald City Comic Con, and then it being a Seattle team, it just makes so much sense. So I'm sure that will sell probably like crazy there. And same with the mascot. It's cool that it's flocked. I can't wait to see more flocked pops of these mascots. Then the future of Boba Fett, this is sweet. It would make so much sense for it to be shared to Target. That's just the only retailer that I could think, obviously. Like, it must be. And I think it looks cool. The helmet does look alright, and then the body, of course, is just black. But overall, it's a sweet looking pop. Then the Thanos with the detachable arm, this is cool because then you get some displaying options and you have like a little bit of playability with this pop now, which is cool, and we haven't really seen anything like that before. The Marvel pops, they're all right. I would say the White Doctor Doom is probably the best because it's something that we haven't really seen. I mean, we've seen a Gambit recently, so this one wasn't as much as like a surprise factor, but it's cool to see him with like the staff or like the pole that he has. And the Harry Potter pops, they're all right. I don't really know these characters, and they don't really stand out too much. Like, besides the wand being in. What's her name?
Tonks.
Tonks. Okay. Besides the wand being in her hand, like, you can't really even tell that these are Harry Potter pops. So, they're just all right.
All right, so now we're moving on to the last six of day two of Emerald City Comic Con Funko Pops, in which, kicking it off, we have ourselves here a green haired troll from the Good Luck Trolls lineup. Then from The Simpsons, we have Milhouse. Then from the Flintstones and the Hanna-Barbera lineup, we have a Great Gazoo, followed by a Speed Racer with trophy from Speed Racer. Then from The Office, we have Dwight Schrute as Recyclops. And last but not least of what we're talking about today, if there so happens to be more Funko Pop announcements as we record this podcast, we're going to talk about them next week. We have ourselves here a Game of Thrones 3-pack of Drogon, Viserion, and Rhaegal, the three dragons, in a 3-pack for Emerald City Comic Con. The green haired troll, I like the hair on this. Like, this is a really nice color of green, in my opinion. And the one thing that really surprised me about this pop when I heard the rumors about this, my initial thought when I heard about this, they're probably going to do the same thing like they did with the Lime Sour Patch Kid last year. They're going to make it 1,000 pieces and that they're going to make it a con exclusive only and not shared. But that's not the case because if you look at the top corner of the photos, the easiest way to tell if it's a con exclusive or a shared con exclusive is if the sticker says limited edition on the top corner of the glam shot. So if it says limited edition, that usually means that it's going to be shared to a retailer. So this is going to be shared to a retailer, which I guess it's cool because there's already been so many troll pops, and it's kind of like a slap in the face to fans who are probably collecting the whole series of this to be like, wow, now I have to go to a con and I have to pay $400 to complete this set. Like, come on. That's the same thing that happened with the Sour Patch Kids lineup last year. You know, you had all the 4 flavors, and then when Lime came out, that happened, and people were mad about it. Milhouse is awesome. And if I'm not mistaken, if you listen to the very last podcast we had in 2019, we did a wish list, and MD did, I think, a Simpsons prediction, and one of the characters he predicted was Milhouse, which already I think MD is the first person out of us two who predicted a pop that actually is going to come out in 2020. Overall, this pop looks awesome in detail. Even though it doesn't have a mouth like most pops, you can see the expression in Milhouse's face, which is absolutely awesome. The hair looks nice. Even the way they did the eyes, that looks cool too. And I love the detail with like how he dropped the ice cream cone on his shoe and there's some on his shirt. I can't exactly remember where this is from as terms to the episode of The Simpsons, but overall, this is a very great pop, and I'm sure a lot of people are going to get this. Then with the Great Gazoo pop, when I seen this, I was like, I know this from somewhere besides that it's the fact from The Simpsons, and now I realize...
The Simpsons?
Did I say The Simpsons? I meant the Flintstones. So, yeah, that's exactly the old, like, 1994 movie of the Flintstones. I think it kicks off with the Great Gazoo. Like, he comes in this, like, little spaceship. That's how I remember him, which, that's really cool. At least they're doing it, once again, non-limited amount of pieces, because this is a pop that could have been, like, a 1,000 to 3,000 piece at a con.
Oh, yeah.
They could have done it. But it's going to be shared to a retailer. And this looks pretty cool from being, like, a little bit simplistic, in my opinion. Then the Speed Racer with Trophy. I didn't think that they were going to make any more, like, Speed Racer pops. Like, I mean, like, they have, like, the set. I'm sure they can make other characters. But I couldn't think of, like, possibly any, like, Speed Racer variants that they could make. But this idea with Speed Racer with a trophy, like, first place trophy, that's a cool idea. And I'm sure every Speed Racer fan is going to want this. It's pretty cool. Then we have Dwight Schrute as Recyclops, which I marked out huge for this. I haven't looked at any of the comments through Instagram and Facebook yet today because earlier today we actually filmed what you guys would have seen on Wednesday's video, which is a brand new series called Which is Better, which is now hosted by MD Shady and MD Shady alone, which is cool because finally MD gets to do something just by himself on the channel. This is a pop that I wanted for a Dwight Schrute variant, and it's perfect timing that they did it for Emerald City Comic Con. You got like the whole recycle theme and how it's green, and then it goes along with the whole green theme of Emerald City Comic Con. And I can't wait to get this. I think this is going to be absolutely awesome. I don't know where it's going to go yet, but I think I'm going to cop out for it. But once again, I need to complete that Office lineup. I kind of been slacking because there's just so many Office pops at the moment, and they just keep pumping out so many different pops that I want. But overall, the detail looks great on this. This is probably the best they probably could have done with this pop, and this is one of the better personas of Dwight, in my opinion, is Recyclops Dwight. Then we got the 3 dragons from Game of Thrones, which these look all right. I mean, I can understand if these pops are like super tiny because they had to fit it in a 3-pack. It's not going to be like super detailed, unlike if you had the pop rides of the dragons. Then there'd be more detail with that. But I can see with the base, I like how they have like the egg that they'd be hatching from as the base. That's cool. And even the color schemes of these pops, those also look cool.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing if like they were gonna do like the full size normal dragon pops that they do and then just slap it in like a 3-pack box. So it would be like a couple feet big, right? Like this box, but it makes more sense if they're just regular sized
If
pops.
they did the Pop Ride size dragons, I feel like might be almost as big as the size of the box that the Millennium Falcon Funko Pop comes in.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, those are cool. I recently just picked up my first Game of Thrones pops because $1 pops at EB Games.
Yeah, I think those deluxes were like $2.
They were $1.80 with
The edge card?
the edge card, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And man, the Recyclops Dwight, this looks sweet. And yeah, it makes so much sense. There's like 4 or 5 different colors of green on this pop. You got like the stems on the flowers, the t-shirt, the globe on the t-shirt, I would say like bandana around his neck, and then the bandana on his head. Like so much green, it makes so much sense. What an awesome office pop. This is one of my favorite exclusives for office pops. The Speed Racer, yeah, I kind of feel the same way with you where it's like, oh, we got another Speed Racer pop because we've seen quite a few now. But I think this is one of the best ones. I really like how this one looks. I marked pretty huge for the Great Gazoo when this got announced today. And this actually made me think I am now going to start collecting the Flintstones pops. Not all of them because sheesh, that's quite a collection to try and collect. A lot of money you'd have to pour into that. But I will definitely be getting some of the main characters for these Flintstone pops. I can't wait for this Great Gazoo. It looks awesome. And Milhouse, one of my wishes for this year, and it came true. This is sweet. I need to get this to add on to my ever-growing Simpsons collection of pops, and hopefully one day finally get those original Simpsons pops. And then the Good Luck Troll, the green one. This is cool. Makes a lot of sense. I kind of wish this was a pop that was limited to a number of pieces, though, because I don't want to see tomorrow they announce some pop that I really, really want, and then it's a certain amount of pieces when they could have just done it with this pop that I don't really care about, right? But besides that, it's an alright pop.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of this podcast for this week. Next week on a Funko Podcast, we will be back with part 2 of Emerald City Comic Con Funko Pop reveals with day 3 announcements and day 4 announcements. And we'll talk about some pops that may get announced in between or after that, because I'm assuming as we record this that tomorrow there will be a Funko Shop exclusive drop happening, because tomorrow as we record this is Wednesday. And then the following week after, I'm pretty sure, because I don't think we're going to be able to talk about it next week, because I'm pretty sure when this happens, it's going to happen on the exact same day as the next episode gets released, which I think the following episode after that, which I'm pretty sure lands on February 28th, I believe, which will be the top 10 Funko Pops of February 2020, will be the New York Toy Fair reveals of Funko Pops, which, man, I can't wait for that. Oh, man, it's going to be a crazy month. February is going to be already. Anyways, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button to let us know that you enjoyed the content that is being brought onto this channel, including this podcast. Comment in the comments section below on what your favorite Emerald City Comic Con pop is. You can do any from either day 1, 2, 3, or 4, since that's going to be out by then. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and other videos we do on this channel in the future. And press that notification bell to be notified of when that future content gets released. But other than that, thank you all for listening to this podcast, and see you guys next week. 1, 2, 3, I'm outie here.
Peace in, peace out.